Why is the Mediterranean diet so much more popular than the Okinawan diet? What is the difference between these two diets, and is one better than the other? I'm going to explain that all in this video today. Hi, my name is Christal Burnette. I'm an Okinawan health and plant specialist living right here in Okinawa, Japan, not too far from Hacksaw Ridge. My YouTube channel is all about Okinawan health, what they eat, and how they live so long because they are the longest living people in the world. So I'm sure you've heard of the Mediterranean diet. It is mostly food from Greece, Spain, Italy, that area, what those people eat, and they do live a very long time. What a lot of people don't know is the Okinawan diet. The Okinawan diet is a diet that was eaten only by Okinawans here on the island of Okinawa. Okinawa is an island south of Japan. A lot of people don't know about Okinawa. I guess that's one of the reasons that more people know about the Mediterranean diet than the Okinawan diet. To start with, something that people get wrong about both of these diets is that they are not vegetarian. They contain some amounts of meat. However, their sources of protein are somewhat similar. The Mediterranean diet gets its source of protein mostly from omega-3 rich foods such as fish, shellfish, and other seafood varieties. There is a bit of red meat in there, and then other sources of protein come from vegetables and legumes. The Okinawan diet's protein source comes mostly from vegetables, a little bit of pork, small amounts of fish, and lots of legumes and tubers as well. Also, soy is a big part of the Okinawan diet as well. There's a lot of soy protein that comes from shimadofu, or island tofu. A big difference between the Mediterranean diet and the Okinawan diet is that the Mediterranean diet is big on grains, where the Okinawan diet is not at all. So if you're going to follow an Okinawan diet, you are not allowed to, or what they don't eat is they don't eat rice. You can't have oatmeal, bread, sweets, baked pastries and stuff like that. The Okinawan diet actually does not include any of those. However, both of the diets do include large amounts of carbohydrates, or things like breads and pastas and well, the Mediterranean diet has those, but the Okinawan diet, you do not have breads and pastas. What you have is sweet potato. The Okinawan diet consists mostly of sweet potato. One thing about these longevity diets, particularly the Okinawan diet, is that a large portion of it is actually carbohydrates. People that are on the keto diet, that's where you don't eat carbs at all, or try to reduce the amount of carbs you have in a day significantly, may think that it's a very healthy diet, you're losing weight, and then it starts getting this rap of that carbs are really bad for you. But that is not the case if you look at the longevity diet. The Okinawans, the longest living people in the world. The ratio of how much carbs they eat compared to their diet as a whole is 10-1. So they're actually eating a lot of carbs. However, they're eating healthy carbs. They're not eating processed sugars, refined sugars, baked pastries, all those carbs that you can tell are bad for you because of the added sugar in them and then the processes they go through to be manufactured. Whereas sweet potatoes, whole carbs, are actually very good for you in the sense that they also contain a lot of vitamins and minerals, and there's a lot of health benefits to them too. So the Okinawan diet ratio of carbs is 10-1, and actually scientists, when they were testing different diets on rats in the lab, they consistently found that that ratio is perfect to be a longevity diet. So the rats that were given that ratio found to have the longest life in the test of all the rats in the little community that they were testing. One thing that is similar between both of these diets is that you can have as many fruits and vegetables as you want. There's nothing off limits because they're very good for you. Fruits and vegetables, they have both vitamins, minerals, and many components that are very good for the body. However, the Okinawan diet is rich in fruits and vegetables that are very colorful. So the Okinawan diet has more fruits and vegetables that are rich in yellow and orange and purple and red colors. And when you look at those colors, you know that they have components like carotenoids. Carotenoids are a component that are very good for lessening inflammation, good for eye health, and overall they just support a healthy immune system. So if maybe you've heard that you should keep your diet very colorful, the Okinawan diet kind of wins in that sense. Now, another point that is common between the diets, but a little different like the last one, is that the Mediterranean diet and the Okinawan diet, there's no calorie counting. However, something that is in the Okinawan diet that is not in the Mediterranean diet is something called Hara hachibu. Hara hachibu means to eat until you are an eighth full. So if your stomach has 10, you go from a rank of 1 to 10. 1, you're very hungry. 10, you're extremely full. Okinawans eat until they're just an eighth full. So this doesn't overwhelm your stomach, it doesn't overwhelm your body, because when you actually put in a ton of food, you're overworking your body, which is something people are probably never told, especially as when you're a child. They're telling you eat, just keep eating, eat for energy, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, eat, eat. And well, we know how obesity happens, but we remember that actually eating too much overwhelms your body, and it's always constantly working to digest all this food, and you're actually putting stress on your body. So something that happens naturally within the Okinawan diet among the Okinawan people is that they practice eating until they're eighth full. They don't eat until they're stuffed and can't move anymore. And because of this means that the Okinawan diet actually, you will eat less calories. So you're not counting calories, you're just measuring how full you are, and naturally you will eat less calories, and that is very good for your digestion. One big difference between the diets is that the Mediterranean diet contains quite a bit of dairy, whereas the Okinawan diet does not have any dairy at all. If you're eating a true Okinawan diet, it does not include dairy, which I, as a lactose intolerant person who can digest zero amount of dairy, am very happy about. So if you're lactose intolerant, which actually a majority of the population is, you should be avoiding dairy because it is not good for your system. And I understand that ice cream tastes really good and all those dairy-filled things are really, really good, but the dairy is not good for you. So if you're eating the Okinawan diet, you will not be having dairy, which is actually very good for your skin as well. I am lactose intolerant, and every time I have dairy, it is not only digestion problems, I will have acne the next day. So sometimes I don't even realize that I had a little bit of dairy in my diet. Sometimes the ingredients, they're not listed properly, or I didn't read them properly here in Japan. And the next day I will get acne, and that's how I know that I had dairy. So if you have any acne issues, one of my suggestions is try cutting dairy out of your diet and see what happens. So at the end of the day, if you're deciding which diet to try, I suggest the Okinawan diet. It has a few more benefits, a few more good points than a Mediterranean diet. But overall, I mean, both of the diets are good. If you have trouble cutting out like oatmeal, you don't have to. You don't have to follow these diets to the T. Doing a mixture of these diets is very good for you because both of them, you don't eat refined sugar, you don't eat sweets at all, very little. If you eat sweets at all, you don't have to count calories, you don't have to stress, you do eat carbs, but you just have to be mindful of getting those vitamins and minerals. So I recommend, if it's very difficult, do both diets, but if you were to do one, if you are on a longevity journey, I suggest the Okinawan diet. Because after all, out of the entire world, the Okinawans are the longest living people, and this island is called the Land of Immortals. Spain, Greece, Italy, those in the European area, they don't have those names. They live a very long time. They have great diets, great people, but the true winners are the Okinawans. Why does the Mediterranean diet get so much more attention than the Okinawan diet? I'm not entirely sure. It might be because people still want to have cheese and dairy, and everyone has these dreams of visiting Europe if you're not from Europe already. I know me, an American, a lot of Americans, when they talk about where do you want to travel, it's always going to Europe. So I think people have this concept that Europe is romantic and it's beautiful. I mean, of course it is, but I think that gained all the attention, and the Okinawan diet did not, because I didn't even hear about Okinawa until I moved to Japan. Not a lot of people have heard of Okinawa, and when you do hear of Okinawa, it's always war stories or the military bases here, or something to do with war and the army, and that maybe will put off a lot of people. Also, another reason is that there hasn't been anyone like me. There's been no one promoting the Okinawan diet in English. Someone like me who could speak Japanese, speak some Okinawan dialect, and live in Okinawa. These are pretty important factors when you're trying to teach people about the Okinawan diet. So the Okinawan diet just has not caught the media attention as much as it should. And that is why I started this YouTube channel, so I could spread the Okinawan diet to lots of people. Please subscribe, please support, please like. Thank you for watching. Nife de ibiru yutashiku unige sabira, and see you in the next video. Bye!